So the time is 6 p.m. It's Friday evening, and I haven't uploaded a video for the last couple of days. I actually spent half a day in A&E a couple of days ago. Nothing serious, I'm all good. And I hated going there because I felt like I was almost abusing the service. It didn't seem like an emergency, but I had something in my eye and I couldn't get it out, and it was getting more and more painful. Usually when you get, we all have things going in our eye, don't we? And usually it sorts itself out within a few minutes, but 20 minutes later it was just getting worse. So I tried to go to a minor injuries unit, but they'd actually closed down temporarily and they sent me straight to A&E. And anyway, it turns out I had a splinter up inside my eyelid, and every time I blinked it was scratching my eye. And I had to turn my eyelid inside out to get it out. Anyway, so that put me a little bit behind. Like I said, I lost about half a day to that, and I run pretty much close to full capacity. So when I lose time like that, lose half a day, something's got to give. And obviously one of the first things to cut out was the time that I spend editing and uploading and stuff. So even though I had some videos, I didn't have time to actually get them out. So like I say, that was why we didn't release anything for a couple of days. But anyway, that was just a brief aside. Today, like I say, it's 5:45 now, and we have got a kitchen Makeathon this evening because I want to go into this weekend ahead, and that's going to get me there. I've already milked the goats, already eaten tea, so we're going to be, this evening, I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but we're going to be making cheese, ice cream, kombucha, crackers, some flavoured, I think they're called compotes, but the flavourings that go with the yoghurt. Got some raspberries and strawberries there. I'm not sure if there's anything else. There may well be a couple of other things. Basically, for the last 2 days, I've been saving up milk. I haven't had a lot to do with it. So we've got all this milk here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 8 litres of milk in there. And we've got another 5 litres in that fridge. Some sourdough cracker dough ready to go. I've got another cheese that we've already made that I need to put in a pot. I've also got this, which is a rhubarb extract that I need to bottle, and feed tonight's sourdough ready for tomorrow's making. So yeah, busy night. So I'm gonna take my coat off and catch up with you guys in just a sec. And I almost forgot, we've got 2 other things to do as well. We've got some clove root up here, which we're going to be drying. I'm gonna cut that up and dry it in our dehydrator and store it. And we've also got our salt cured eggs, which we need to do our next stage with, which I'll share with you. But it's basically a case of drying them out. Remember these guys, our salt cured egg yolks? Well, they're going to be dried out today as well. I've got a couple of options with them, but I'll talk to you about them when we get to them. I'm gonna start with the crackers, and it's quite a lengthy process. I've got quite a lot to do. So I'm gonna make a start with them. You've seen it all before. I'm not gonna bore you with it too much now, but I'm gonna make a start with them and get them going. That lovely sourdough starter. It's a happy boy. We're gonna make so many crackers. So I'm just gonna separate out the starter that I need for tomorrow and feed that. Okay, so I'm a little bit ahead. I've got 2 sets of crackers ready to go in and nothing quite ready to come out the oven yet. Well, there's one almost ready. So I've got time to set up my dehydrator. And what we're gonna do in here, really simply, is firstly, our cloves, or our clove root. Now this is from a wild edible plant called wood avens, or clove root is another name for it. And the roots, you can use exactly as you would use cloves. They are just a great wild edible. I've done a video on that. I'm not sure which gets released first, this one or that one, but that video is coming anyway. Next up, we're gonna do our eggs. Now in here, we've got our salt cured eggs that we started on Wednesday of last week. So they've been in here for they've been in here for 9 days, which is plenty of time. And the next thing we're going to do is we're gonna dry them out. So we just need to remove all the salt from them first. This one's broke on the bottom, but that's okay. And then we'll just rinse them if you have to. Just get rid of all that salt. Now the next step is just to dry them. Now you could put them in a little cheesecloth and hang them up in the fridge or wherever, but obviously I've got my dehydrator that I'm going to be running. Just need to pause in the middle of that because I'm sure I've got some crackers that are ready to be dealt with. Yeah. 3 lots. So I'm just going to get a little bit of greaseproof paper, pop it on my dehydrator, pop my eggs on there. And we're just going to run that at a low temperature, 40 degrees, for as long as it takes. I'm going to set it to run overnight and we'll check them before we go to bed and then check them in the morning. But they're going to sit there now and do their thing. I can get back to these crackers. Okay, so we're nearly there. We've got, over here, we've got 3 sets of soon-to-be crackers ready to go in. 1 over here, and then 4 trays in the oven, and all these made, which looks like a lot, but my son will eat all of those in a week, and I'm trying to do enough so the rest of us can have a few. So I've done a few extra, well, a lot extra, so massive batch tonight. I'm ahead now on the crackers, so I'm going to be able to start doing some of the other things while we're still cooking them. And next up on the list is the kombucha. Now, I've already made a video on my kombucha recipe, which you can find if you search my videos. I'm sure you only have to search kombucha and it should show up. And my wife actually has taken over the kombucha making in the house. So she's already made the tea, which is next week's batch. So all I'm going to do is transfer it into here, where our SCOBY is. Look at that fella. We've had that fella for about 3 years now. So we're going to transfer that into there and then set this aside for next week's batch. So down here in the fridge, I'm expecting we will see, yeah, hidden back there behind all that milk and rhubarb is next week's batch, or this week's batch, along with these ones in the fridge door. So I'll pop that on now to start its first ferment. So that's a mixture of fruit tea bags and green tea bags. So that's just made a big batch of green tea and fruit tea mixed together with sugar, obviously. We'll just pour that straight in there on top of our SCOBY. You need to allow the air to get to it, so we just cover it with some cheesecloth, plastic band, and then we keep that at room temperature. And its traditional home is in my office, sat on a tea towel, because we have had the occasional spillage. Right, next up, we've still got our crackers happening. We've done our kombucha, we've got our clove root and our eggs in the dehydrator. We've got all of our crackers rolled, ready to go. So I'm going to wipe the top down so I can get some milk on here and start making cheese as well. You may have noticed I've made 2 refinements to my crackers recipe. Firstly, I cut them before I put them in the oven now. I just find it so much easier. And I also cut them on this flat surface before I even put them in the tray. And the second thing I do is I just cook them on a slightly higher heat than I did before. I've got the oven set at about 210. And I just find with that extra heat, you get them nice and crispy, and they don't tend to puff up like pillows quite so much. the last set of crackers to go in. Next I need my cheese thermometers. Okay, so we need to get the temperature up to 90 degrees and then cool it down as quickly as we can. We do that by running cold water under the saucepan in the sink. So my next job is to clear everything down. While they're coming up to temperature, we'll put away the things we're not using and we'll wipe everything down and do the washing up, get the sink clear so that by the time they're up to 90 degrees, we can transfer them straight into the sink. And we've got room to do it because we've got quite a lot of washing up to do in the meantime. The cheese making was fine, I want to make that clear, but it was the washing up might have been a step too far because I've slightly over on some of these crackers, but I'm not too worried. We'll be all right. We've got a lot, and yeah, I think they'll get eaten anyway. They're not too bad. And our milk is very, very close to temperature. It's just coming up over 80 degrees now. There we go. All our crackers done. Got 5 degrees to go on the cheese. I need to very quickly just get our sink ready. So at this point, I just sieve it basically back through into the containers it started in, and that takes out any little bits of burnt milk that got stuck on the bottom, gives me an opportunity to quickly wash the pans, and helps to reduce the temperature, so it kills 3 birds with 1 stone. So I can just take away that milk that caught on the bottom now. Our thermometers back in. So now while the temperature on that milk is reducing, in an ideal world we'd get that down to 22 degrees and then we'd add our culture and our rennet, but my culture is actually frozen, 2 frozen ice cubes, so I normally put it at about 25 degrees because it will reduce the temperature a couple of degrees from there. So we are at 60 and 67, so we're already down a significant amount from the 90 we started at when we pulled them off the hobs. So that's underway. We're going to go and get our cultures out the freezer, and then we're going to start on our fruit compotes to go in our yogurts. Got my frozen starter culture, which I've got frozen in ice cubes. I made this myself, and I've just done a water change down here. So our temperatures are currently 40 and 50 degrees. So we're only going to be 10 minutes or so away from being able to do the next stage on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to start my fruit compote, and you guys are going to love this. It's so simple. Now, this is basically what I'm using to flavor our yogurts. You could also use this for flavoring ice cream. You can use it to flavor other things as well, I'm sure, but you know, we're using it to flavor our milk-based products, you know, ice creams, yogurts, things like that. So the recipe is so simple, you're going to love it. So you can use pretty much any fruit, but we're going to use some strawberries and raspberries. Now obviously these are strawberries and raspberries I've purchased today in the shop. In just a few weeks time we should be able to start using our own, so that will be the plan, at which point we can do a massive batch and obviously freeze it. This is the recipe, it's this simple. 250 grams of fruit, whatever fruit you're going to have. For every 250 grams, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of corn flour, 1 tablespoon of water. Simple as that. And what we're going to do, we're going to mix the corn flour and the water together first. So a tablespoon of water, a tablespoon of corn flour mixed together, put that to one side. Then we're basically going to put in a pan, we're going to put our 250 grams of strawberries, raspberries, whatever you're using, blueberries, and 2 tablespoons of honey. We're going to bring that to the boil and simmer it for about 10 minutes until it all starts breaking down. Then we're going to bang in our corn flour and our water, keep going for another 5 minutes. Boom, you are done. It's that simple. And of course, if you're going to make more like I am, I'm going to add all of this together. So we've got 800 grams there of strawberries. So we'll do all that in one go. So that is going to be, you know, roughly, I'm going to times everything by 3. That's going to be, you know, if it was 750 grams, that'd be times by 3. I'm not worried about the 50 grams. So there you go. It couldn't be simpler. So I'm going to very quickly start that now, then jump over to the cheese. back over in Cheeseland. We're at the temperature we want, so we're going to add our culture and then our rennet, and we're going to make sure it's all really well stirred in. And while those cultures dissolve, we can leave them for a moment and come back to them, give them another stir. It's really important that all the rennet and the culture gets distributed right throughout all that milk, and then they will just be left to sit. While over here, we can start making our compote. So we're gonna bang them strawberries in there, and we're just gonna stick in a load of honey. I'm not gonna measure it. I need 6 tablespoons, but I'm not worried if I get a little bit more. Okay, we want to bring that up to a nice simmer. While that's coming up to temperature, I'm going to mix my corn flour. That smells amazing. So we just need to let all of that break down a bit now. And that's it, our cheese is done. This batch of cheese is done until tomorrow. So I'll just pop this over on the table. And then on my way to bed, I'll drop it out to the airing cupboard where it can sit for 24 hours. So I'm just going to quickly squeeze in another job as well. I'm going to weigh out my flour for the morning, because I'll be making sourdough tomorrow. And I need 1.6 kilograms. Which means I can put this flour sack away, and I will just also quickly put 20 grams of salt. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually not, because that's for 4 loaves, 5 grams a loaf. Quick time check, it's 8:30. I think we're on track. The only big job left to do is to make the ice cream. This is coming along nicely. So now we'll add our flour and water, and then again we'll carry on simmering it for another 5 minutes or so. It's really important that the flour gets cooked, otherwise you'll taste it, and once it gets cooked out you won't. The flavours will get lost in amongst that strawberry. Look at that. So this now we'll put that in. I've just got one out of the fridge that we've already made. It goes in the bottom of our just plain natural yogurt that we make, and mix it up, and you've got strawberry yogurt. Delicious, it's fantastic, really is good stuff. In fact, I might eat this one right now. I did eat that. Oh, God, I love it. Right, so I'm gonna pop this up, and then all that's left is the ice cream. And we're not actually making full-on ice cream because it's not the right time of day. But what we're doing is we're making the raw ice cream liquid that we're then going to put in the fridge, and then tomorrow, and we're making enough for 2 or 3 batches, so tomorrow we can get up and throughout the day do a few batches in our ice cream maker, but we've already done all the hard work. But this is going to wrap up my filming, I think, because this is already going to take me an age to edit, and I want to get it out tomorrow morning. So if I film too much more, I won't be able to get it out on Saturday, which is hopefully when you're watching this. So the time now is 8:45. By 9:30, I will have made my ice cream. I will have made my cheese. I will have made my compote. I will have dried my clove root and my eggs. Let's have a look. Coming on nicely. That's almost there already, but it won't do any harm to sit there until the morning. So I will have dried my eggs. I will have fed my sourdough starter, weighed out my sourdough for tomorrow morning. Oh, the only other thing I desperately need to do, and I can quickly do that now while I'm talking to you, is to bottle up this, because I have already sterilised the bottle. So this rhubarb extract, and we're going to be using this as a lemon juice replacement. Very exciting. I made this yesterday. I've made a video about it, and I'm not sure which order they'll be released, but probably this video will go out first, but you can look out for that one. This is a rhubarb extract, and it's really, really acidic, and it's to take the place of lemon juice in a lot of different recipes, and I'm really quite excited about it. That's going to go in the fridge. So that's everything. be sure to subscribe and tag along, and you'll see me completing all the things that I've started today. You'll see me do lots of other things as well. This video and all the things that I've done in it. Look at all those crackers! That is a massive amount of crackers. All be gone within a week and a half at the very most. Anyway, what I was going to say was this video and doing all this has really got me ahead and set me up for the weekend. So it means that I should be able to get loads of other stuff done in the garden this weekend, which should be awesome. Weather's finally turning, so make sure you're subscribed. Tag along with me, guys. It's lovely to have you with me. Make sure you press that like button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're doing with your evening. I've still got a lot of washing up to do as well. And I will speak to you guys very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Cheers.